And that's how you interact with Janet from home. Of course, this is a multi-talented artist. She's a singer, songwriter, producer, dancer. You've got a great business mind that I want to talk about as well. And of course, everybody here wants to get a chance to know a little bit more about you. Are you excited about this? It's a big event.
I really am. It's really great to see everyone here. I've actually never done anything like this before, so it's really cool to be so close. Very nice, very intimate.
It's very intimate, it's very impromptu, so that we get a chance to get to know you. We're going to be doing that and hopefully getting to hear your questions right after this with Janet.
Your career, it's your destiny, and you have to guide that. You always hope that your project is successful, but I never knew the extent that this success was going to be, really. I just want to thank everyone for voting for me. Thank you so very much. This is really an honor. Thanks. I love films. I love acting and that whole art. You know, I think it's great. The minute you hear the kids and their energy and excitement and love, it totally puts you in a different space, and you're ready to give everything that you have. Years to come, how do I see myself? Still making music, acting a lot more, helping others with their music, whether it's through writing, producing, things of that nature.
This program is brought to you by Coca-Cola Classic. Always the real thing, always Coca-Cola.
I went back into my childhood and looked at certain things. I had to get through certain pain there in order to move on to the next step. I'm still sifting through a lot of pain, and that is what's on the album. I'll never forget my baby. I'll never forget you. I always write about what's going on in my life at the moment, things that mean a lot to me. I would go in to sing certain songs like You, and I'd have to stop. I couldn't finish the session. I had a journalist say to me that he felt that this album was very angry. I think there's one angry song on there, and that's the song What About, and rightfully so, talking about domestic violence. These are things that have always been really, I can relate to. People talk about, well, there's how much privacy do you want versus, you know, you letting everyone know what's going on in your life. But there's a give and take to it. It was a real difficult album for me to make, but the most important one.
With those songs, how do you feel about the songs, and have they helped you
I'm sorry, let me what songs? The songs.
The songs on the Velvet Rope.
Yes.
I mean, we just saw a segment that was on the Velvet Rope.
Yes.
And, you know, you talk about how this is your most important album, your most difficult album. Some of the songs that you started recording that you had to leave for a while, go back in the studio, finish recording. After living with all of those songs for a year, how do you now feel about the songs, and have they indeed helped you resolve some of the issues that you're singing about on the album?
Definitely. I mean, they helped me resolve a lot of issues while I was actually singing them. After recording the music, it helped a great deal. But sometimes certain things just resurface and you have to deal with it again. But I'm happy I did it. I needed to do this album for myself. And there was a lot that I needed to get off my chest, and a lot that I wanted the public to understand about myself, and hopefully to help others. And that's why I did this album.
It's interesting. I was talking to some of your fans outside earlier, and they were saying how they love Janet because Janet really understands them. Do you feel that your album not only reflects you, but explains the things that they might not understand about you?
I think it definitely explains a great deal about me that they may have never known. You know, we go through a lot of the same things, and I basically wanted to say that you're not alone, even though you may feel alone at times, and that's the way that I felt during the making of this album, and even before then, and just to let them know that they're not alone, and if I can get through this, if I can succeed, so can they.
Well, it's obvious to see how the fans feel about you. They literally idolize you. I mean, scream, they go crazy when they see it. Obviously, you've gone through an extraordinary amount of growth while recording this album. What is your perception of yourself today?
I perceive myself as a much stronger person. There was a lot that I had to accept about myself that was very difficult for me, that I had to just kind of look in the mirror and find something very, very positive in myself, which was very difficult for me to do. And those are the things that I have finally accepted, and my perception of myself is a great deal of growth. I've changed a great deal, and my friends saw it before I did, and I see it now, especially after making this album, and I do believe it's for the better.
Well, we've got a few questions from the audience. Remy in particular is waiting to ask you a question. Hi, Remy.
Hi, Janet. I just want to tell you that I love you and I've been a fan for 11 years. My question is, I know you believe in life after death, so who do you think you were in the life before, and who do you think you will be in the life after?
Who do I think I was in that? Gosh, you know, I don't know. I think maybe I was an animal of some sort in the life before. I don't know what I'm going to be in the life to come.
Do you feel like you have a deeper purpose, perhaps a mission? You went through so much. You were able to turn so many negatives into positives. Do you think there's a reason for that?
I feel that we're all put on this earth for a certain reason. We have duties. And I do as well. And aside from making my music, mine is to help people. I love helping people. I've always wanted to be a philanthropist, and to do it through what I know best, which is my music. And any person that I can possibly help in any way, even if it's just one person, that's an accomplishment to me, because I know that that person will go on to help someone and so on and so on. So, you know, kind of like a snowballing effect. And that's what I really feel that I was put on this earth to do. I love helping people.
Well, we've got another question this time from Shay. She's in the audience as well. Shay?
Hey, Janet. Just to let you know that this is a dream come true for me, and I'm shaking. But when it's just you and you're alone, not worried about being on stage or on tour or recording in the studio, what are the intimate details that run through your mind?
Well, obviously myself, yes? The intimate details.
Or just things that run through your head.
Things that run through my head. I don't know if I can say. Well, I don't know if everyone here is. That's a lot of, geez, gosh, you kind of caught me. A lot of very, a lot of sexual things at times, really. That's just me, though.
You do seem to be so much more comfortable with your sexuality than you were in the past. I mean, 12 years ago you came out with an album, Control, but it seems like now you're really in control.
Well, I've learned that really to be in control is truly to be out of control. If you understand what I'm saying. Yeah, you have to let go in order to truly be in control, which is what I've learned. And that really wasn't talked about in my family, in our house growing up. So it was something that was very quiet and kind of getting out from under that whole umbrella and being incredibly sheltered growing up and meeting friends that I've had for years. I mean, you wind up experiencing and learning different things, and I think all of that is what truly brought me out. And you have questions, and you start answering those questions and exploring, and I think that's how it truly came about.
Well, we're going to talk a little bit more about sex later on in the show, but first, we've got a very unique concept here at Much Music, which is called Speakers Corners, where people can literally walk into the booth and comment about anything under the sun, anything that means something to them. They can ask questions as well, and of course, a lot of people took advantage of the fact that you were coming here today to ask you questions. So we've got a Speakers Corner on the road from Montreal. Okay? Sure.
Listen carefully.
Hi, Janet. This is Keta from Montreal. You're one of the biggest female singers today, and I would like to know, what have you learned about success from other female vocalists?
From other female vocalists, as easily as it comes for some of us, it can quickly go. To cherish each and every moment, not to take it for granted. I've seen a lot of artists just totally take it for granted as if it's going to last forever. And sometimes, unfortunately, it's only been with one project that they've had a great amount of success. Learning how to deal with that, keeping their feet firmly planted on the ground. I've seen egos get way out of control, out of hand. And just seeing all of that is what I've learned from a lot of artists, as well as the positive things, like I talked about, and trying to enjoy each and every moment, which is very difficult for me to do, and stop and enjoy the success that you've had, things like that.
Make a big difference. We've got another question. This time it's from Melanie, who's in Sydney. She's on the phone. Hi. Are you there, Melanie? Hello? Melanie, are you there? You know what? We're going to come back to you, sweetie. First of all, we've got another question here. It was kindly slipped to me. It's a fax question. We'll try to get back to Melanie on the phone after that. This is a question from Jennifer Hollett in Toronto, Ontario, who says, Janet, your music makes me dance. What music makes you dance?
Oh, gosh. All different types of music. I love Brazilian jazz. I love rap. I love just different types. Well, that's really to relax, to kind of meditate. I was going to mention this, an artist from Tibet that I've really been into lately, and I got a CD, her CD from one of the promoters in Germany, and I'm absolutely in love with it. But as far as dancing, I love rap, I love hip-hop, Brazilian jazz. But growing up, I listened to different types of music because there were so many kids in the family. There were just all different types of music going on, from classical to folk to country to rhythm and blues.
Well, you certainly know how to make the whole world dance, not only with the songs off the album, but with the incredible remixes that you do. And I was reading something about being able to do remixes from a distance with Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis over the phone.
Oh, that process. Well, it wasn't a remix that we actually did. It was the Shaggy song that I'd never even met Shaggy. And he recorded his piece before I did, and Jimmy called me up and asked me if I would participate, and I was happy to. And I was in London with the tour, and at Abbey Road Studio where the Beatles recorded all their stuff, and in the actual recording booth where they recorded the Sgt. Pepper and using John Lennon's microphone, and we did it over the phone, actually. I was speaking to him over the phone. I could hear him in the headphones and singing to, you know, the track.
And that was off the soundtrack to How Stella Got Her Groove Back, right?
Yes.
How did Janet get her groove back?
How did I get my groove back?
We've got a phone call from Margaret. Do we have you?
Yeah, hello?
Oh, hi, Margaret. Do you have a question for Janet?
Yeah, I'd just like to say you're my idol, and I love you so much.
Oh, thank you. I love you, too.
I'd just like to ask you how many people audition to be your dancers, and if you ever plan on having any more auditions.
How many dancers do I have?
Yes. Or how many auditioned for you?
Oh, God. You know, I don't even know the answer to that question. There were tons, because we had an open audition, and people would send in tapes from all over the place. I mean, videotapes, if you couldn't afford to fly in, tape yourself and send it in. Kids were sending stuff in, and we looked at a lot of kids that way as well. There are actually 9 dancers on stage with me, which is the most I've ever had.
That's incredible. And you've got to have a real sense of the person, not just technically, yeah, you're a great dancer, but you have to have a good rapport with these people.
For myself, the most important thing is what's in the heart.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that we can work together on getting it as perfect as possible and getting it really clean. It's about what's in the heart, what's there with the person. Because, you know, you become friends. You wind up living together. I mean, we started in March with this tour. We're not going to finish to the end of January. And we're a very close group. And I good-hearted people. That's what also keeps me going, aside from music inspiring me. Very good-hearted people, and I must say, I absolutely love the group that we have, and that's no BS. That's the truth.
You know, we've got a lot of good-hearted people here in the audience. Of course, in the environment.